What's up guys, Jiving back with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to avoid third parties. You do this by finding the dead side of every single zone. That's the least likely place to get third partied. So I'm going to show you how to find dead side of zone and how to handle third parties when they actually do approach you. Before we hop into this video, please consider using code JIVINTV in the Fortnite item shop, hitting that like button and subscribing if you're new. Now let's get into this video. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the first zone. Let's say hypothetically the first zone pulls over here like this. Dead side of zone is basically the side of zone with the least amount of players and the least amount of players rotating into this spot of the map. So we can easily tell that this side of the zone here, all along this edge of the zone, is going to be the hot side of zone. All these spots are rotating to this one area of the map. So dead side of first zone is going to be over here, this whole side of the map, because most players are going to be rotating towards center to either find fights or just get into the center of the zone. So by heading over to dead side of the first zone, you can pick fights with the people that are over here, and you'll be much less likely to get third partied on this side of the map. However, if you fight over here at the spire, you're probably going to get rotated into by Sweaty, Holly, Slurpee. Everybody's going to be coming right here. So if you take a fight here, expect to fight like 5 to 10 people. But if you fight up here, you may have to fight 1 or 2 people, and it's a much safer fight with a lot less people rotating into you. Something you can do to handle third parties if they do start approaching is if you look around in the middle of a fight, you see the third party approaching, apply some pressure to them or move to the opposite side of the person that you're already fighting so that the third party runs into the person you're already fighting, and then you can third party them. So let's look at the second zone. When it's closing, where do you want to be if you're trying to get to dead side and avoid third parties in your fights? Let's say it's right here. Dead side of zone is going to be all along this edge here, just like that, because on the opposite side you're going to have Steamy rolling up, Dirty. This entire side of the map is going to be rotating right around here. So this side of the map is going to be so hot, and if you get in a fight right there, there's a very good chance you'll not only get third partied, but you'll also be fighting for so long that you're going to get stuck in zone. But if you fight up here, you might just have to handle 1 person or maybe 2, and then you can end that fight quick and rotate to zone safely. Get a quick refresh and then you're off to late game with a lot of mats and everything. Once second zone fully closes, I usually try to avoid a fight unless I'm on dead side of zone or going for a really high kill game. And the reason is there's so many third parties in early season, especially on this side of the map. So you just got to think, where are people coming from? Are they going to be coming from out here and rotating into here? No. But they're all going to be coming from this side of the map up to here. That's how you find second dead side. Let's look at third. So let's say third zone pulls right here. It's pretty much the same situation, everybody's going to be coming from this side right up into here. It gets really easy to predict these early zones where the hot side of zone is going to be, because you can just tell, this side there's not going to be many people rotating right up here, but there's going to be a lot of people over here because this whole side of the map had to rotate here. Everyone's right here, they're going to be rotating here. But if you get on this back side, you're probably just going to have 1 or 2 people. Let's skip to half and half now. Let's say half and half zone pulls right here. So there's going to be the most people on this side of the zone because everybody rotated here and then right here. So the most players are going to be there, rotating up to here. This side of zone is going to be hot, but there's only going to be a few players up here, so then that makes this side of zone the most dead. And if you can somehow get to this back corner here, that's going to be the most dead, because initially at the start of this zone, this is out in the storm, and then this zone rotates up into this circle. So if you can get back here, there's going to be nobody over here because everybody's just going to get to this front edge, because that's where the safe zone initially was. But if you can get back here where the storm initially was, there's going to be no one over there. Now let's get to the moving zones. This is where it gets a little bit harder to find dead side, but hopefully this will help you out. Okay, so let's talk about first moving zone. We're going to say it moves like this. This was half and half zone. Remember, the most players were on this side of the map because everybody rotated up, and then into here, right here. And vice versa, this top side was dead side. So that means during this rotate, this whole top side is going to be dead side. There's going to be the least amount of players here. When it comes to moving zones, getting to the back edge is usually the dead side. There's going to be not many players there because during moving zone, people usually just try to get to this front edge of the zone, and then they want to save their mats and not worry about getting to the backside. So dead side is going to be this top back corner. This is the most dead side of the first moving zone. And you don't need to get to that exact spot. You just got to keep in mind that's the dead side. This whole backside of this zone is going to be the most dead side. And that's some good information to have for when making the second moving zone rotate. So let's say the second moving zone moves like this. So the dead side of the first moving zone was back here, all like this, which means if you stay on this side of the moving zone for the second moving and get to this edge, that's going to be the most dead side. So first dead side was up here, it moved to there, up to here, over to there. You kind of see how that works? We'll do one more example towards the end of this video, but this is the general idea. You know, you need to figure out where the dead side of each zone is, and then as the next zone pulls, say the dead side's up here, that means this is going to be the dead side. It's like a line drive to each of the dead sides. And then if, say, there's one more zone, usually in Arena it doesn't get to the next zone, but let's say there is. Let's say it pulls right here, so it moves like this. So first dead side was right here, it moved up to here, it moved to here, and this front edge of the zone, the very, very far edge, is going to be dead side because most players are going to stop right as they get in here. So if you can get all the way to this back side and rotate straight to this other side here, just like that, see how they all connect? So this is going to be the dead side of this moving zone. So Arab made some really good videos on finding the dead side in trios, and something he said stuck with me. He said that in competitive trios like F and CS, it's almost a race to get to the dead side. So knowing where the dead side is going to be is really important because it's like a race to get there. So if you can get there first, you're going to be in the best position other than the height team. So that's basically the whole entire moving zone game. Let's talk about another zone. So let's say first zone pulls like this. As you can probably predict, this whole back edge of the zone is going to be the dead side. Let's say second zone pulls like this. So dead side of zone is going to be this back edge here, just like this, because that's where the least amount of players are going to be rotating into. But if you're trying to get a refresh in the second zone, the best place to do it is back here because you'll probably find one person just trailing around, maybe the person that landed Slurpee, and you can fight them without too much worry of getting third-partied. So now next zone, let's say it pulls right here. Hot side of the zone is still going to be this top area here, because that's where the most people were in the previous zone. Dead side of zone, however, is going to be more so like back here, this side of the map. So if you're trying to get a fight in this zone, I would recommend doing it down here because that's where the least amount of players still are. You're still going to have to worry about a third party because these games have been more stacked at the start of this season. But if you do want to get in a fight in this zone, just make sure that you kind of play a box fight. Box up next to them and try to take their wall, yada yada. Make sure you're covered from all sides so that you don't have to worry about all the people boxed up over here spraying at you. And if there are a lot of people boxed up over here and you're pushing somebody's box, instead of positioning yourself over here and your opponent's right here, position it the opposite way. Your opponent's there, you're right here. So then he's going to get sprayed at by all these teams over here, and you just have to worry about like the 2 or 3 people behind you shooting at you. So let's just skip to half and half, and let's say this is half and half zone. Remember, there were the most amount of players up on this section of the map. That means that this back corner here, this whole side was dead side. So if you can get to this part here in this square, that's going to be dead side of zone. And the reason is all these players from up here are going to be rotating there, there, and there all along this edge. And there's just going to be a few players from over here rotating here. If you can somehow manage to get to this back side of zone, that's going to be dead side. That's going to be total dead side because nobody rotates to the far edge of the half and half zone because that's initially in the storm. And let's say that this is first moving zone. Dead side of zone was this far edge, remember? That means that there's going to be the least amount of players rotating on this side of the zone. So let's say second moving, so first moving, we figured out this was dead side, and this whole edge here is going to be dead side because nobody rotates to the far edge of zone. Like I said, they usually just rotate to the front edge like that and then base up because they don't want to rotate any further. So if you somehow manage to get to the far edge of zone, you're going to be on dead side, and doing the rotate like this is going to be the dead side of zone. Dead side to here you get to the far edge like this, you rotate here, get to the far edge like that, rotate here, that's going to be the dead side, rotate like that. Playing the edge of zones just like I'm showing here will help you win more games. You won't be getting pinched in the center. If you rotated to the center like this, you'll have people on both sides of you spraying at you from either side and you'll die so fast. But if you can find the dead side and stick along that dead side, you're going to be much more comfortable because you'll only need to block off. Let's say you rotate like that, you'll only need to block off this left side here because people might spray at you like that, but that's all you're going to have to worry about is this side here and then above you from height. One more thing I should note is that if you can somehow get to the dead side, you get all the way to the front like this, height is usually going to sit on the back. So you can start to 90 up right about here in your rotate and then spray back at height and they'll be forced to drop. If zone pulls across like it does here, then you'll have a free high ground retake. Hopefully this video helps you get on the right track, winning more arena games, finding dead side, avoiding third parties, all that jazz. If it did help you out, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, use code JIVENTV in the item shop, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.